The one big question with this team, do any of the young guys take a step up and prove themselves as the next like homegrown core for the Giants?
Yeah, and so we wrote a little bit about this for the Giants. I guess this hasn't published yet, but we are, we're doing our young talent rankings, our 26 and under, and writing about the Giants. That is the real question, because while we started to see this next wave of Patrick Bailey and Casey Schmidt, Luis Matos, who's had a nice spring, and Luciano, who was super hyped, they all have. Now Bailey's fine because he's a great defensive catcher, so he's going to be the guy, right? He'll be the catcher, and that's fine. But they all have some red flag. I mean, can Schmidt hit it all? Can Luciano play enough defense and then have his bat translate? They've relied so heavily on veterans, both when they were amazing, inexplicably amazing in 2021, and then, over the last few years when they've been average. Who is that young guy? Now, we have to put Jung Hoo Lee in here, too, right? I mean, he's a part of this, too. He's only 25, and while he had a lot of success in the KBO, he's a rookie, right? And so we don't really know what it looks like at the major league level yet. But I agree. That's the big question. And you can apply that to the pitching side, too. We're high on Kyle Harrison and Keaton Winn. But if that doesn't go well, like handing Kyle Harrison the number 2 starter job out of camp, like I really believe in that guy. But that's a big bet. That's a huge, kind of not just workload, but commitment to give to a guy like that. If you really have postseason intentions, it's really hard to be a successful young pitcher in this league. And I think Kyle Harrison can do it, but it is a lot to put on the young guys.
And this front office under Farhan Zaidi has not shown an ability to draft and develop homegrown position players. Their starting lineup, none of these players were drafted or signed by the Giants.
Bailey,
they all come from, I was going to say except Bailey, but he has yet to really prove himself to me like as an everyday big leaguer.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge deal. Matos would be that, right? Schmidt would be that. Luciano would be that. And so if those guys hit and can make the leap, that portends well for the front office. If none of them do, that's a big red flag for me.